Did you know that almost 100% of the nebulized medication is actually manufactured here in Columbia?
Really?
Yes. Where are you from? From South Carolina. What's special about South Carolina? Let me tell you. The next time you open a unit dose of albuterol before you give it to that patient, look at the label. It was made in Columbia, South Carolina.
Today, we're at the Boyd Innovation Center in Columbia, South Carolina, sitting down with Amanda Clark, founder of Pulmanage. This is Fail Fast Founder Spotlight. So, now that we got through that, so tell us a little bit about Pulmanage. What problem are you trying to solve that most people don't know exists?
So Pulmanage is a digital health platform, and the name basically tells you what we do. We manage pulmonary disease. We've built a unique platform that integrates lung function testing with wearables, understanding patient perceptions, and gaining kind of their point of view all in one platform. And by understanding your physiologic data from a wearable and your lung function data, your symptom burdens, and kind of your point of view, it really helps to frame what's going on with someone on a day-to-day basis. So remember when I was in the clinic and I needed to have eyes and ears on my patients? This is what I needed to have to be able to really write an effective plan for them. It helps you to understand where they're going. They don't have to be historians because we capture everything real time. We capture data on a daily basis, and we can then take that and kind of pull that out and look at that longitudinally to understand what kind of disease control do they have, how effective their medication was, maybe what some of the triggers were that they were experiencing. Really, really, really important things when you're trying to manage someone with pulmonary disease. But I think the other thing that's really unique about the system, and we just finished a 2-year rural health study with researchers at the medical university, and looking specifically at COPD and undiagnosed COPD. So COPD, everybody's heard about that. I think you've heard about it on TV. There's lots of commercials, lots of pharmaceutical ads, but there's no cure for COPD, and it affects millions of Americans. Actually, about 8 to 10% of the population in any given demographic in the United States has some form of chronic lung disease. The other thing that we don't talk about with chronic lung disease is that other than asthma and COPD, which are not diagnosed correctly using lung function testing, only about 1/3 of those have actually been monitored and diagnosed, an airflow limiting disease diagnosed by measuring their airflow and documenting that appropriately. So there's a huge misdiagnosis there. But aside from that, the problem goes even deeper, because outside of asthma and COPD, 90% of respiratory disease is really considered rare disease. So understanding that you may have a rare respiratory disease, but you've been dropped in the massive asthma bucket, and we try to manage your care and treat you, based off of asthma best practices and clinical guidelines, and you're not getting better, you may actually have something else. And so it warrants a little bit deeper in investigation. Wow. So the tool was built with a couple of different use cases in mind. One, to help fix some of the things in commercial healthcare, but commercial healthcare is not ready for that right now. Just to be perfectly honest, there's a lot I could talk about all day why it's not ready. But one of the things that one of our early investors had pointed out to us, he said, I think that you certainly have multiple market segments that you want to go into. Occupational medicine is another great use case for our platform, monitoring folks in the workforce that are exposed to tons of different toxins and pollutants and things that cause lung disease, that are known to cause lung disease, and keeping some sort of surveillance on them. But outside of that, all of the things, all of clinical trials and understanding what's going on in the therapeutic space, pulmonary function testing, spirometry, some of the patient perceptions, all of those are considered very significant endpoints for regulators that are approving medications. So we've pivoted about 14 months ago and really began to serve academic and biopharma researchers using our tool for them to make surveillance, surveillance and endpoint measuring in their therapeutic trials. And so I like to think that, even though I'm not touching people in the commercial healthcare space just yet with this platform, we will at some point. It's not if, but when. Right. But right now, we're helping some great minds bring some just amazing technology, therapeutic technology, and molecules to these patients that so desperately need intervention for their, one, for quality of life, and two, just wow, how to say that? To improve quality of life and to really improve their outcomes.
You don't have to go too much into it, but you mentioned some of those blockers, some of those barriers
Yes.
in the commercial segment. Can you, what were some of those blockers?
Some of the barriers for us, in 2018, 2019, Medicare released some new billing codes that were specifically for remote patient monitoring. Remote patient monitoring is, in theory, a great thing, but chronic lung disease is very different than diabetes and heart disease and mental health. And so we're very nuanced in the way that we treat our patients. 90% of what you take is going to be an inhaled medication, so your technique can make or break the effectiveness of that medication. Our diagnostic tests are all effort dependent because everybody breathes. Whereas if you're diabetic, you take your insulin, you take your shot, you take an oral tablet. Yeah. As long as you administer it, it goes and does the same every time. But in respiratory medicine, we're very nuanced, and that's not really a true statement. So remote patient monitoring is a great tool for other chronic diseases, but there's a lot of bad actors right now in the marketplace that have Walmart of everything in their platform, and they see it as a financial billable, and they drown these poor clinicians in just massive amounts of data. And I've walked in that space. I looked at the model, and then you're also then subjected to a decreasing physician fee schedule that happens on an annual basis. So every year for the same service, you get reimbursed less. So to remove ourselves from that model and be able to serve folks on the pre-commercial side and really advance the therapies that are coming forward. AI has played a lot of roles, not just in my company, but specifically in biotech, and the advancement and testing of molecules and bringing some of these drugs to the market. And so if we can be a part of that success at some point, the healthcare monster, on the commercial healthcare monster, will eventually catch up, and we'll be there ready to fill some of those gaps.
You talked a lot about bringing pulmonary diagnostics into non-traditional settings.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I think it's really important to, one, deliver care, point of care, so at the primary care office. But what we're doing with Pulmanage is we're taking that a step further. So on the clinical trial side, usually for you to participate in a clinical trial, you have to go to a site, to a brick and mortar facility, to see someone in person, to have your things done. But patients that participate in trials using our platform participate in something called a decentralized trial. So my team takes everything that the patient needs to basically participate with the Pulmanage platform, and we deploy that directly into the patient's home. So that would be a mobile phone or whatever device is required for this particular study protocol, a spirometer, a wearable, and medication administration tools, whatever's required again for the study protocol. But we deploy all of that directly into the patient's home, and then we use technology to have our patients talk directly to our respiratory therapists to make sure that they're getting clinic-grade spirometry and lung function testing in the home. And by doing that in the home, one, you remove a ton of barriers, right? You remove the logistics barrier. If you have chronic lung disease, it's not always easy for you to walk long distances either. So you can sit at your dining room table and do your test with our respiratory therapist. And then we have non-traditional hours as well. So if you're a working individual and you need to, you need to see our RT, you can see them in the evenings or early in the morning before you go to work, or on a Sunday afternoon. We have a lot of flexibility, so I think really meeting people where they are is going to be key to moving things forward. But using technology to deploy these things, it just makes sense.
Wow. So I can be someone with pulmonary disease,
Yes.
and get clinic level diagnosis right from my home with your platform.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say is that by deploying devices directly into the home in a clinical trial, it's all about statistics, and you have to have so many endpoints to meet your statistical analysis.
Okay.
And by deploying these devices in the home, pairing a patient with our respiratory therapist, we can monitor your lung function instead of once every 6 weeks. We can monitor it every day for 6 weeks. And so you get a little more granular detail. And that's really important for our patients that have rare disease. So there are fewer of them, and they're harder to find to enroll in the study. And so now if we can take fewer patients and have the same statistical meaning and that outcome in a shorter period of time, you then just cost less money to bring that therapy to market.
Wow. So you truly are using data, statistics, AI to revolutionize
Yes.
the healthcare space. Wow.
Yes.
And that brings me to the next question of, health innovation in the healthcare space.
Yes.
Where do you feel that's moving? Is it moving too slow? What are you seeing?
Well, I think that on the adoption curve, I fall certainly in the early adoption phase, and that's kind of weird to say for somebody in my, Gen X, and so it's kind of weird for someone in my age bracket to fall in that space. But I think that technology in healthcare has been limited for a lot of reasons. One is it's a very highly regulated environment, and it needs to be. I mean, you're dealing with people's lives, and so it takes a little bit longer. There's more red tape to get through to bring that to the surface. Also, I think that it's not the tech that's slowing down and people bringing tech to the market. When you're in a healthcare environment, again, you're treating people, and so implementation, it doesn't matter how great your tech is. If you can't implement it correctly, you will lose every time. And we've had a lot of really cool tech come through, but the implementation process or the buy-in from specific stakeholders or a champion within the healthcare system were not existent. And because of all of those things, they've all gone away.
Wow. So I'm assuming
Yes.
your take on it is we're a long way from robots diagnosing humans.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you've built multiple ventures. This is venture number 3, correct?
Correct.
Number 3?
Yes.
What did 1 and 2 teach you as you went into venture number 3? And what did you take and pull from those?
Oh, so much. One, I feel like I'm a little more grounded when it comes to business processes. So I feel like that's not as hard as it was the first time. 2, I understand the nature of the problem a little bit much deeper. So when I was in the pediatric office, I learned a lot of things, boots on the ground. You learn when you're in the thick of it. But I've also learned from speaking and having customers that are medical providers, health systems, and my second company is a distribution company, so it's a B2B, we sell directly into those guys. So having their perspective and seeing how they respond to technology coming in was really, I think, kind of advantageous and helped me to be a subject matter expert, even more so than my clinical expertise. Wow. Just pairing all those things together, understanding the patient's perspective, and being able to take information from all of those stakeholders into my third venture has really made it a little more, just make it a little easier because you understand who your customer is. And when you understand who your customer is and what they're willing to engage with, it then makes it a little bit easier when you're building something.
Exactly. Yeah, I've experienced a little bit of that from my own startup venture experience. understanding the customer journey is essential.
Absolutely. Yes.
Without it, you're bound to fail.
You're building it without it. If you don't understand the problem that they experience, the pain that they have, you then are just building something. You're just building a set of features.
Yeah.
You're praying somebody will buy later.
You're building blind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So this is more of a opinionated question, if you will. Do you think that entrepreneurs are born, or do you think they're made?
So I grew up in an entrepreneurial household, and I learned how to grind. My dad he didn't just freely give you cash if you needed something. I'm gonna need for you to scrub the bathrooms. I'm gonna need for real. I need for you to clean my office and organize my files. So I feel like, I don't know that you're born, but I think that your life circumstances can teach you things. And I see that even in people that I hire onto my team. If you have the ability to grind, if you take ownership in something, if you have a lot of those soft skills that are required for leadership, I can teach you the science. I can teach you the process. I can have somebody teach you the code, but I can't teach those other things. And so I think that even entrepreneur, leader, whatever your lot in life is, those are required skill sets to have. So I don't know if you're actually born as an entrepreneur, and I see a lot of people come through and talk, they talk at Tech on Tap last night, I want to build this thing. Okay, what's your plan? And usually you can tease out very quickly in about 2.5 minutes if you actually know what you're going to be doing, you have a plan, and you've thought this through, more than just I scribbled something on a napkin while I ate dinner the other night.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's born or not, but I think there's some elements that can be taught, but you also have to have an innate desire to keep you going, because it's not if the hard times come, it's when they come. And if you cannot pick yourself up by your bootstraps and make yourself get up, wash your face, girlfriend, and keep going, then you're not going to make it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Nature over nurture.
That's right.
Nature over nurture.
Absolutely.
I do agree with that.
Yep.
I do agree. So then, habits. What habits help you shift from the mindset of a clinician to a founder?
I think again, two different sides of your brain. As a clinician, the science is here. I know what that looks like. I know how I speak to my patients. I know, that's one path. And I think that they have to run parallel. As a founder, even when I worked in the hospital systems, I was given pet projects. Here, I need for you. When I worked in the PF lab, this is many years ago, it's going to date me, but we had single databases on every machine in our PF lab, and they wanted to take and combine all of those into one networked database. Well, I was probably the youngest one in the lab, and so I don't know if my boss thought I was techie, I don't know. I drew the short straw. She gave me the special project, work with the vendor. I need for you to work on this problem and understand it inside and out. And even so, you can take ownership and think like a founder even when you're employed somewhere else. 1,000%. It is a mindset. It is not, it's a mindset and a skill set that you can develop. It's not something that I think that you can develop those things. It's the way that you process information.
Absolutely. We talked a little about mindset shifts, what makes an entrepreneur, how do you, nature over nurture.
Yes.
Someone who hasn't taken that leap yet.
Yes.
They're prepared. They have the napkin plan, as you explained.
Yep.
But they're not quite ready to take that leap yet. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I would say that you need a plan if you jump before you have a plan, you're going to fail for sure. I always tell people that have a great idea, don't quit your day job. Because until you know that you can replace your income, you need to make sure that you can protect your four walls. And if you can't do that, then you probably ought to maybe put that in the parking lot.
Absolutely.
But no, I think just understand, and you can do, there's so many, I love the way that we've changed in kind of our mindset and culture. You know, a lot of people have a side hustle. So it's okay to have a side hustle. Work your side hustle, but you can work your side hustle while you're working your full-time gig. And if those two are in the same industry, you can use this one to learn what to do in this one.
Absolutely.
And build yourself a network of support people, because when you do make that leap, you're going to need people that have your back, someone who can speak truth and love to you. Yeah. Sometimes it's not always nice, but you have to have someone who can do that.
Yeah. Wow. That last piece is actually, like, I've heard people say that before, and I've experienced it. First of all, like, how important is that for you? Like, to have someone in your corner that you can turn to and that you know that they're going to give you the hard truth when you need it the most?
I love those people the most because I can trust them implicitly with everything. Yeah. It's the people that pat your back and they pat you on the head. And if you're a woman, you know what that means. You've been patted on the head. It's those folks that I don't really know where I stand with you. And I don't know if you actually care for me or have my best interests at heart, but someone who will tell you hard things and help you walk through hard things. Just someone with integrity. I think that lends to a deeper, more meaningful relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so we're going to do a fun little segment where we like to do is we're going to run through some speed questions, if you will. Okay. And you can take your time to answer, or you can speed through them. What's your guilty pleasure after a big win?
A margarita.
A margarita. Okay, I'll take it. Late nights or early mornings?
Late nights.
Late nights?
Yep.
Oh, night owl. Okay.
Yep.
Nice. Do you ever think about quitting?
Always.
Always? Okay, I appreciate that.
I'm waiting for the window. I'm waiting for the light to come at the end of the tunnel.
Appreciate the honesty. I appreciate that. But what keeps you going when things aren't working?
I think just knowing that, like, I've invested my everything here, and it's now not just me. I have a team of people who are depending on us. We have customers that are depending on us. We have investors that are depending on us. So just knowing that it's not just me. I can't just close the door and walk away because I'm going to hurt a lot of people. And so sometimes that can be pretty heavy. And but I think at the end of the day, it's pretty cool too. You're like, man, these people actually trusted me, right. And here we go. Let's circle up and get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the hardest moment that you had personally as a founder?
There's been a lot of hard moments. I don't know that I could say one specific thing. When I had a founder leave, and there was nothing I could do about it, and it hurt.
It's typically hard to manage those hard moments, right? It's hard to see the silver lining out of the situations like that. But what's sort of a mistake that you've made or encountered or seen someone else make that you would make again?
I'll tell you the mistake that I'm scared to make. So as a founder, I've seen other founders who have lost control of their company, who have been voted out of their own company. And I'm afraid of, I think every one of us deep down are very concerned. My first two companies, the path and the capital for those were very different than this current venture. I've never taken institutional money prior to this venture, and it comes with a pretty heavy weight. I want to do a good job and partner with the right people and make sure that I deliver on my promise. But I think that there are people that don't always have your best interest at heart, and so knowing who you're doing business with can make you or break you.
Yeah. What's a lesson that you had to learn that cost you money monetarily?
Never do anything until you have a signed contract. I grew up in my generation, my parents did things on a handshake. Yeah. And your handshake and your word is your bond. And unfortunately, not everyone has the same the same standard.
So true. What do you think most people don't understand about entrepreneurship?
I think that most people don't understand that it's not as glorified as everyone makes it out to be. You're a founder, you're whatever, and they only see what's on social media. They only see your wins. They don't see you at your lowest point. They don't see you come in before the lights come on and go home after the lights go out and continue to work and grind to fix problems. They don't see the hours you spend on a Sunday afternoon preparing everything for your team for the week.
Yeah.
Those are hard things.
Okay, perfect. So what do you think is more important then? Is it talent, right? Being this, bred to be entrepreneur, or
Yep.
consistency and perseverance?
Well, you go back to the tortoise and the hare. Who wins?
Right? The tortoise
Always,
wins? Tortoise wins?
always the tortoise. So consistency, if I can have someone that's the same today and tomorrow through the good times and the bad times, and I know that you're steady, I'll take it all day long over a racehorse or someone who is just very puffed up with their own pride for a momentary win, because those things are not sustainable.
Yeah, I agree. Perseverance, consistency, I think it wins in every time. All right, so what is you've exited your company, you made your big exit.
Yes.
What is your dream vacation or dream purchase?
I don't know that I have a dream vacation. I travel a lot for work, and so I just like to be at home.
Yeah.
To have, 100-acre farm, and I could, if I don't have to see a person at all today, it would be okay. I could just go out and hang out with my dogs and my horses, my cows.
Yeah.
I think that would be that, and to know that type of operation and the farming community, that's a whole nother business element. Fun fact, I was an FFA officer when I was in high school, and so I know what that looks like as well, but it's very costly, and there's not always a lot of return in that investment. So I think for me to have something like that, or to be able to just have that space to just escape, would be, yes, a breath of fresh air.
Wow, nice. So what is your go-to song when you need a bit of motivation?
Oh, it depends on what day it is. I like, if it's a bootstrap day, Don't Back Down.
Oh.
Because I don't back down.
Hey, there we go. There we go. Suit or hoodie?
Probably a suit jacket, but I am a blue jean kind of girl.
You're a blue jean? Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. So blue jeans with a suit jacket.
Probably.
Okay, fair enough. Beach, mountains, or city? But I feel like I already know it's probably neither of these, right? Is it farmland? Is it
the mountains?
the mountains?
Yeah, I want to be far away from people, and I want to see the stars.
There we go. I don't think you can get more secluded than the mountains. I think. Yeah.
I grew up in the mountains of Northwest Arkansas.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I was just actually in Tennessee in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
Pigeon Forge? No.
There's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of too many people.
There's a lot of people. It's very
Too
people-y.
many people in Pigeon Forge. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you the type of person or founder to check your emails during vacation?
Guilty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think if you're a founder, I think
Yes,
you can't really
guilty.
escape. Yeah.
If you don't keep it to a manageable amount, when you come back, it's like, ah.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
Because then you're not refreshed.
The open hose, it's just drowning you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I understood. All right, and the last question is, you've had a stressful week. What is your go-to comfort food?
Mexican food.
Mexican food.
Always.
Oh.
Yes.
Go-to dish?
I like enchiladas. I like a
There we
chimichanga.
go.
You can never go wrong with some street tacos. But
And a margarita.
and my margarita on the rocks, not frozen.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
We really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
Thank you.